So, my name is Sulaimon Olarewaju, and in this video, I'll be taking you through what Flask is all about and how you get to run it appropriately, how you get to run your app on your console, basically, and how you get started with it. So let's get started. So, here we have it, Flask, a Python framework, basically. You know, that one is like I believe it's something every one of us should know. So when we look at what Flask is all about, or basically what this particular presentation, what is going to entail, I will run you through what Flask is about, what an O.R.M is about, getting started with Flask, then running your app appropriately. So what is Flask? Flask is basically a Python framework. It's more of like a micro framework, which is very, very small compared to other Python frameworks like Django, like the Bottle and the likes. So it is often used to build very small and simple web apps. You know, Web apps, we are still coming back to what all of these terminologies, what all of these terms, what they meant. And yes, Flask can also be used to build APIs as well, and it is very, very flexible. It is easier to use. So, earlier I mentioned Flask being a micro framework that doesn't require or that doesn't include an ORM. So, what does ORM? What does it mean? ORM is basically standing for Object Relational Mapping or Object Relational Manager, whereby it's more of like a database where you have your Python file being able to interact with a relational database like the PostgreSQL or the MySQL on its own. So with ORM, a developer can work with the database using programming language they are familiar with rather than having to learn a new language, which is basically like SQL. There are other web apps that people build. Probably you build them on Express, you build them on Vue, you build them on Angular, whereby you have to learn SQL or SQL programming language on its own to use its database. So I am going to show you how you get to run your Flask, how you get to use um, Flask framework, how you get to install it and run it on your browser. So let's jump into that. So yeah, this is like a very simple Flask app that I have built or written. Very, very simple one. We are going to see how to go about it. So, but basically when you go into your repository, your folder that contains the app that you want to run, all you need to do is go on your console, try to install the Flask if it has not been pre-installed before, then you run your app. As simple as that. Go on your browser, copy the localhost URL, run it on your browser to see what it entails. If you look at this app, you discovered like it's just a very simple dummy app. So what this app is basically handling is take for example this part that has to do with the um the app that is trying to get a particular route. So which is this is going to return, this is the index page. Basically when we run the app, you are going to see all of this on the browser. So this other part is handling the um what is called the ID, which is going to be in form of, okay, when you are routing into a particular ID on the browser, you are going to see all of this on the browser as well. Then we have this aspect and this other part as well. So when you want to run your Flask app, you can run it in various ways. I can easily click on this run and debug mode. So when I click on this run and debug mode, then I can simply just run it directly from here after selecting the file which I want it to run upon. So I'm selecting Python. So I just click on the run aspect instantly. So let's wait for my terminal to load up completely. Let's wait for my terminal to load up completely. Yeah, there we have it. So the very first thing that you want to do is to install Flask. Basically, how to install Flask? You just pip3 install Flask. That's all. Pip3 install Flask. Then you strike your enter. If you don't have Flask installed on your system before, or on this repository before, you see all of the details that it is getting installed one after the other immediately. Sorry. So, but I already installed my Flask on this repository. I already have the Flask installed. That's how you have this requirement already satisfied, blah 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 blah, and like that. So there you have it. Another way to also run this Flask app is whereby you go to this particular run mode. So you can always run a Python file directly from there. But if you run it directly from here, it's automatically running this app.py. So what you need to do is to change the command prompt, or to change it to, if you have PowerShell, you can always run it on PowerShell, and you can simply run it on command prompt, anyone. So from here, you can simply install your Flask as well using the same command line, which is picture install Flask. There you have it. So you can always use any of this mode. If you use the command prompt as well, it's still the same thing. Pip3 install Flask. So these are like the various ways to install your Flask or to interact with your Flask app using the console. You can always use the debug mode, you can always use the PowerShell, you can always use the command prompt. So once you are done with that, then the next thing is just to click on Flask run. Immediately you discover your Flask has been installed successfully, just type on Flask run just to run your Flask, and you'll be generated with this particular information or notification. So running on HTTP 127 blah 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 with port 5000. That is what we needed. That is what we are going to click on. That is what we are going to run on our browser to see what we are going to see on the browser. Let me end this particular slideshow. Okay, I already have it running here. So let me just go on another tab. There you have it. So this is the index page. So I have some of the um some other information incorporated into the app. This one changes to, this is XXX. So let's go on our app and see. There we have the 200 status code, which is like it ran successfully. So which other feature do we have in our app? I think I have this other feature that says, okay, /number /ID. So let's go there. So this particular part is going to pick the ID, the number we gave our Flask to run on, then it's going to multiply that particular ID 2. So let's quickly do that. So let's say I have this one as number, then I have 14 here. It's going to give us, oh, not found. Sorry, I think there was an error there. Number /14. Okay, yeah, there we have it. There we have it. So if I change this number, any number I change it to is going to multiply it by 2. Any number I give it is going to multiply it by 2. So that's part of the code. So we have this. Do you see? That's not found error that we encountered earlier. We got this serious code, which is 404. Then we have this other part, which is like trying to get the amount of people that we have on this or just like, it's going to run our index.html file, which is this little HTML code that I have incorporated. But how to go there is we go on, we click on this /index on our browser. So there we just erase this one, then we replace it with index. There you have it. It says, hello there, the number of member forum 6 are 6. So I hope you are able to get started with that. I hope you enjoy what this presentation is all about, and I hope you'll be able to run your Flask app after watching this. Thank you, and see you next time.